Welcome back to the Angry Man Podcast with Jason and Greg. So, Jay, we did the video earlier today talking about Showtime boxing no longer being an entity, if you will. Paramount is no longer going to be in that line of business. And we have been speaking to this for several months. And for whatever reason, people didn't believe us. But now they have the understanding that Showtime boxing is no more. Well, there are a number of boxers, Jay, that have reacted to this news that Showtime boxing will no longer be on the network. Most notably, Ryan Garcia and Terence Crawford. So, Jay, I want to quickly share the thoughts of both of these fighters because I want to speak to it a little bit. So, Ryan Garcia started us off by saying today is a really important day for boxing. HBO and Showtime defined our sport for a generation, and now they are both out. All of us boxers need to make this our collective fight. We got to be thinking about marketing, new audiences, investors, global, all of it. Boxing is still the greatest sport in the world. We just have to reimagine it. All right, Jay. So then Terence Crawford followed up and said, I couldn't agree more at Ryan Garcia. The system we have isn't going to fix this. We got to think different. Look at every other sport is building empires doing it right. Us fighters need to come together. We can fight in the ring, but work together for our sport and our families. So, Jay, here's the interesting thing about this news, and I think it is now shocking some of these fighters because, quite frankly, some of these fighters no longer have a home to actually fight on, right? The opportunity is dried up if you don't have a network deal. Now, I'm pretty sure the PBC is going to land somewhere, but who knows where the PBC is going to land? And who knows if the PBC will get the same number of dates they got with Showtime. So this is going to be shocking for fighters. And you know what? That's good news because the problem is not just on the network side. The problem is just not on the business end, as many people will have you to believe. So they'll tell you that the issue is PBC and Al Heyman, or it's Bob Arum, or it's Oscar De La Hoya. And I've been on the record saying this on multiple occasions, Jason, that the fighters, and Al Heyman plays a big role in this, the fighters were getting paid too much, and the business and the entity and the networks have to be able to make a profit. If they are not making a profit, boxing is dead. It's almost like a record company, the old school record company structure where without a distributor, you're nothing. It doesn't matter what your product is. It doesn't matter how hard you work to create your product. If there's no one watching your product, it's not a product. It's dead. So we have been saying that for years, like boxers coming in and people get mad at us talking about we're counting boxers' pockets. We're not counting their pockets. What we're saying is that a boxer has to be reasonable in terms of what should be reasonable for them to get in terms of their purse, because everybody has to eat off the fight. And if everybody's not eating off the fight, you don't have a fight. And people are like, oh, I don't blame the fighters. Get as much as you can. Get as much as you can. Do this, do that. Yes, the fighters should get as much as they possibly can get within reason. But you cannot have a situation or a model that allows for these networks and these business execs to carry all the risk, because a smart executive is not going to stay in that line of business. They're going to exit that portfolio when the risk is so high and you're not really recognizing the profit on it. I'm telling you from a business standpoint, that's how they're going to react. So some of you are just reacting off of your emotions, but in reality, it's really your thought process is an issue. Specifically, those of you who like to talk all that shit about the sport, yet are the main ones not actually paying for the sport. That's one of the bigger problems as well. So I hope this shocks not only the fighters, but also the fans. Now, Terence Crawford, I want to get to him. Terence Crawford, in my opinion, is a contributing issue here in terms of his approach over the last few years. Now, I think this probably shocked Terence Crawford to some degree. I agree with what Terence Crawford is saying. I think he is absolutely right. But at the same time, he has been a contributing issue over the last several years, trying to fleece everybody he can in regards to the dollar amount. He's been unreasonable in certain aspects. But I respect Terence Crawford and his position on this because I think he's 100% spot on. They need to think about it differently. They need to reimagine what boxing looks like in this generation, and everybody needs to work together towards that. Now, one of the bigger challenges is to make sure that all of these fighters are fighting each other. These guys got to stop ducking risk in order to try to follow a Floyd Mayweather blueprint. Because at the end of the day, Floyd fought the best competition in and around. Now, some people will argue that they'll throw a Paul Williams out there or an Antonio Margarito as though Floyd wouldn't have beaten them. But at the end of the day, Floyd fought the best available competition out there. And he also generated the requisite income in order for everybody to be happy with the promotion and the fight. Stop trying to follow the Floyd Mayweather blueprint when you're really only following one aspect of it, which is trying to be undefeated. Floyd was good at marketing himself. Floyd was good in the ring and out of the ring. And if you don't have that model in place, then just please stop and fight the best available competition, because that's going to be your best promoter. Not yourself, not your actual promoter, but you fighting the best competition is going to be your best promoter. Jay, those are my thoughts on that. I know I talked for a while, but I'm very passionate about this particular subject. Jay, what's your thoughts on this?
Yeah, well, very quickly about the whole Floyd thing. People they're trying to be Money May instead of Pretty Boy Floyd. Pretty Boy Floyd put in the work to become Money May. They don't want to put in the work. He made himself where he was marketable enough to make that type of money. Everyone ate with Floyd fought. People tune in to either watch him lose or to watch him win, but they tune in. He was able to galvanize people to do that. He put in the work for that. You just can't come out fresh out there and just saying that you demand this amount. Now, as far as Terence Crawford, I agree with what he said as well. I think everyone needs to be at the table. But to your point, we know Bud has been able to fleece the market a little bit. He did it with Top Rank over and over again. We know Bob's on record saying how much money he lost. This has nothing to do about Bud's talent. It's just about the way he was moving over there. Low risk, high reward. That's what he was rocking. Point blank, period. That was what his resume was over there. But as far as about him saying the fighters should be at the table, I agree. They should be at the table for this, just to at least see what's going on and have some type of knowledge of what's going on. Just can't be blindly on it, because that's how you get screwed over. So I agree with him with that as well. I think he learned something. I think he learned that over there with the other company with Top Rank, some of the stuff he went through over there, as well as even a little thing he did with BOK Prime, and now he's over here. So he's been able to learn. He's 36 years old, so he's been around the game for a long time. He knows the ins and outs. He knows what he was able to get away with, what he couldn't get away with as well. So now I think he's actually seeing, as he's closer towards the end of his career, he's looking out for the sport more so now than he ever did before. So he's right. All of them need to be at the table, because he talked about on some interviews before how he got screwed over, how he was only getting like 6% or something like that. So that wasn't cool. He's the one putting his life on the line. I get that. But to your point as well, you also ought to be putting cheeks in seats. If you're not doing that, you're not going to get paid. That's not going to be a lasting model for any business. The model of a business is to make money. If I'm losing money on you just to pay you X amount of dollars, I'm not going to exist. So I need to minimize what you're getting paid a little bit and make sure I'm getting some money in as well. So this is a good start for these fighters, maybe an eye-opening and an option for hopefully the sport of boxing, try to retool some things for people to make it a lot more fair for everyone involved. It's going to take time. I don't think it'll ever be a full equal equity out there, because that's never going to happen in business. Business is always going to be someone's going to be getting a lion's share usually. But at least make it worthwhile so this sport can continue. Stop being super greedy and have everyone at the table. But you got to make sure when you're at the table, you got to know what you're worth as well. You can't oversell yourself, and you shouldn't undersell yourself neither.
Yeah, and I just hope this is a warning shot for the fans. Pay for the fights. If you like the fights, pay for the fights. And stop getting upset when we talk about the business aspect of the sport. The purse splits and things of that nature. This doesn't have anything to do with trying to count another man's pocket. It has everything to do with understanding how the actual system works and how those dollars could actually affect the overall outcome of fights down the line. Because if the network loses money on this particular fight, then how willing are they going to be to invest in another fight moving forward? That's part of the reason why we're not getting the fights that we want as well. So understand that, dog, and stop being simple fanboys and not and emotional schoolgirls where you come into the comment section and start calling names because you upset because I'm not pulling off the nuts of your favorite fighter. Yeah, I said it. Anyway, I'm done with it. This
Angry
topic
Man
always gets me
podcast.
hot, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys tell us what you think in the comment section in regards to this. Terence Crawford and Ryan Garcia responds to Showtime Sports and boxing is no longer. It's out of there. Paramount is done with it. We reacted to it. Now you react to the reactions. Don't forget to hate, like, comment, and subscribe. This is the Angry Man Podcast, M Sports Media, and we are out.